Michigan Out of Doors Online is brought to you in part by Big Fish Charter Services in Elginak. Experience a world-class muskie fishery on Lake St. Clair for predator fishing or a once-in-a-lifetime trip on the St. Clair River to tangle with a prehistoric lake sturgeon at Big Fish Charter Services. It's all about big fish. And by
quick and easy setup. Silent operation. 360-degree shooting. Triops 360, no limitations.
Welcome to Michigan Out of Doors. I'm Jenny Olson, and this week we've got an all-new show for you. We're going to check out some bows in our annual bow review. Jordan and Gabe headed out to look at the latest and greatest in compounds and crossbows. If you're in the market for a new bow, you won't want to miss that. But before we get to that, Jimmy's got some other good stuff for us too.
Well, that's right, Jenny. We do have a few more things on this week's show. We're actually going to kick off this week's episode by doing some big water fishing out of the port of Oscoda over on the east side in Lake Huron. You won't want to miss that. We're also going to stop in with some of our houndsmen here in the state of Michigan and see what they're doing to keep their dogs in shape to get them ready for the upcoming hunting season. And we're going to take a look at a Michigan sportsman who came up with a new deer decoy. I saw it. I thought, you know what? We got to put this on the show. It is a very unique decoy. You won't want to miss that. Lots of good stuff on this week's show. You stay tuned. I'm Jimmy Gretzinger. It's time for Michigan Out of Doors.
From the first spring rains to the soft summer breeze, dancing on the pine forest floor, the autumn colors catch your eyes. Here come the crystal winter skies. It's Michigan, Michigan out of doors. Someday our children all will see this is their finest legacy, the wonder and the love of Michigan. As the wind comes whispering through the trees, the sweet smell of nature's in the air. From the Great Lakes to the quiet stream, shining like a sportsman's dream. It's a love of Michigan we all share.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by Greenstone Farm Credit Services, making recreational land ownership possible across Michigan and northeast Wisconsin. Begin your land financing journey at one of Greenstone's 37 locations or visit greenstonefcs.com. By G5 Outdoors, makers of the Quest and Prime bows. Manufactured and designed in Memphis, Michigan, G5 offers archery bows, broadheads, and accessories. On the web at g5outdoors.com. By Country Smokehouse, offering a variety of meat products. Country Smokehouse is located 3 miles south of I-69 on M53, just south of Imlay City. Country Smokehouse is a meat processor, a butcher, and a destination for sportsmen.
We all have one, that perfect spot, a special place we go to smooth out the ripples of the day. Our perfect spot is calling. Our perfect spot is pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
Well, we're gonna start off on the shelf, a piece of structure. It's about 90 to 110 foot of water, about 5 miles offshore, and generally that's where our fish should be sitting first thing in the morning. And then as the day progresses, we'll be working our way out to deeper water, probably all the way out to 150 foot, which will probably be about 10, 11 miles offshore.
Okay, and how's the fishing been this year?
It hasn't been bad. It's been a very, very cold summer, so we haven't much of a temperature break. The last few days, it's only been about a 3-degree difference between surface temp and down 100 foot.
Oh, wow.
So these fish are really spread out through the water column. So our initial setup, we're going to have everything from lead core lines on the surface to rigger lines down probably 100 foot.
Oh, okay. And any kings out there, or mostly lake trout?
A lot of lake trout. Kings are just incidentals anymore.
Okay.
And there have been quite a few steelhead caught the last week, so it should be a decent mixed bag. Stop reeling. Stop reeling.
There you go. There's a nice little fish.
The skunk is out of the box.
Yeah.
Fishing today out of Oscoda, we had Mike Hurst, Dan Dunnigan, and Tom North, as well as fellow co-captain Mike Kovac.
Mike, how long you been fishing out here?
Since about 1973.
Wow. So you've kind of seen it in its heyday, and
I've seen it go through all its changes, you know, but to be honest about it, yeah, the fishery's different, okay, but it's still fishing, all right? And it's, I don't know if there's a better way to spend a day other than out on the lake, you know. You can get out with good people, good friends.
yeah.
You get to see things that you don't see, you know, if you're sitting at shore, it keeps you active, and I like it.
Now, you said that you fished with both Garner and Fred Trost over the years, eh?
Yeah, yeah.
You got any good stories about those two?
I don't know if you want to put them on the air, you know.
Well, the stories did fly about old Bob and Fred, and we had a great time on the water. For many of us, when we think of big lake fishing, we only think of the west side, and that is wrong. Huron is doing well and has some great eating fish.
The native strain that used to be in Lake Huron were the old Mackinaws, and they had a nickname. They called them grease balls, greasers, because they were a very, very fatty fish. The species of lake trout we're catching today, it's the Seneca strain that came from the Finger Lakes of New York that's been introduced to Lake Huron probably about 25 years ago. It's a very lean, mild tasting fish. It's a suspending fish, which makes it a little bit easier to target. This is a great eating fish.
If you're looking for a new part of the state to explore, the northeast part of our Lower Peninsula has so much to offer, you may just be surprised.
Oh, a tremendous amount. When you look at the natural resources that we have at our fingertips, the Oscoda River is just actually, we're docked right along the Oscoda. You've got 17 miles of water that you can canoe, tube, just below Foot Dam. You've got many hiking trails, cross-country trails, you know, everything from bird watching to fishing, hunting. I mean, when you look at what the natural resources have to offer in this area, it's unbelievable.
Even though many of us are starting to get the itch for the hunting seasons, the fishing here, well, it will be good for quite some time.
Well, the lake fishing will more likely wrap up probably about mid-September, end of September. Again, everything is based on water conditions. And then I'll transition from the lake fishing to the river fishing. We get a fairly decent fall steelhead run, and they'll have a few salmon in there. Some Atlantics will be coming in, a few kings, but it'll be mainly steelhead. And I'll fish that until the river freezes.
Gene is a river guide as well and is kind of a one-stop shop because he also runs a local hotel and restaurant which participates in the state's Catch and Cook program.
We have a full-service restaurant, lounge, hotel. The only captain from Bay City to Presqu'île that's participating with the Catch and Cook program, and that's through Michigan State University. So my customers, anything that they catch on a charter, we can prepare their fish at the restaurant for a minimal plating fee. We cook the fish 3 different ways, plus all the sides, and the customers just go crazy about it because it really just, it's an added amenity for people that are coming up north and going on a charter.
Well, how we doing, Captain?
Not a bad morning so far. A little mixed bag, a few walleye, a few lake trout. Still got another hour or so to go.
Good.
Beautiful morning. Not
Beautiful day
bad.
on the east side.
Absolutely.
Wow, another walleye.
Yeah, that is a bigger one, Tommy, as a matter of fact.
Nice job. That's another good walleye. Mike, tell me, how did you guys end up here today?
Well, I'm from Grass Lake, Michigan, and the Grass Lake Sportsman Club had a benefit auction, and I bought the trip.
Okay, and who did you bring with you today?
I have got my son-in-law, Daniel Dunnigan, and an old-time fishing partner and good friend, Tom North.
Okay.
So
Have you guys fished Lake Huron before then? Or?
I have never fished on Lake Huron,
Really?
so this is the first time for me, and had a great day. It's nice, calm weather, and
Good
fishing's
deal.
good, and got good friends and good people with me, so having a good time.
And what does the Grass Lake Sportsman's Club do? Do you know?
The Grass Lake Sportsman Club, it's just an organization of local guys in Grass Lake. Do a lot for kids out there. Take a kid fishing day. Of course, we have a lot of events out there for the sportsmen themselves at the club. So it's a good organization.
Good deal. Well, thanks for being here today.
Hey, it's a pleasure.
Hey, hey, hey. The last rod coming in after.
Just a beauteous thing. It's like, you know,
Meant to be.
the end to the perfect day. Okay?
It's like it was scripted for a TV show.
It was.
Exactly.
Getting to travel the state and see new areas and spend time in the woods or on the water, well, it is really a lot of fun. But no matter the size of the catch or the amount of game in the bag, the quality of the day is really measured by the people you spend it with. And it seems our great state, well, it has an endless amount of great sportsmen here at Michigan's Out of Doors.
It's hard to believe we're in late August and archery season is creeping up on us quickly. It's always fun to check out some of the latest and greatest in technology and different compounds, crossbows, things for men, things for women, and that's exactly what Gabe and Jordan are going to do in this next segment.
Well, we kick off this year's bow review with the Prime Ion. Now, there's a couple things I really like about this bow, and they've actually changed a couple things from their last year's models. This bow is the lightest one they've ever made. This is only a 31-inch bow, but it's less than 4 pounds, and we stayed with the parallel cams. A really light, really accurate bow. A couple things that they changed that I really like. They changed the handle for this year's bow. Now, they still have the option to have that thicker handle that they've had in years past, but I really like this new thin handle that they have. Really comfortable for my hand, but you still have the adjustment to go back to the old one if you like. They also added these limb saver power bands, which has made this bow, which is already pretty quiet, that much more quiet in the field. Prime has continued to stick with this 7000 series aluminum riser. It's the strongest aluminum riser on the market. There's a lot of things to like about this bow. It's really light. I love that, and you keep that accuracy. It's also got a ton of let off. If you like having a lot of let off, this bow is adjustable all the way up to 85%. That means when you're getting it back at 60 or 65 pounds, you're talking about 7 or 8 pounds you're actually holding. So if you like a high let off, this bow can adjust all the way up to 85%.
Well, this next bow is a Bear Archery Arena 30. So it's a 30-inch bow. What I've noticed, obviously, the obvious thing is it's very maneuverable. In a tree stand, you're going to be able to get around stuff. Very short axle to axle. But typically when you get a short axle to axle, you have a shorter brace height and you give up shootability. This bow actually shoots very well. I like the way it shoots. It's a fairly smooth bow for as fast as it is. This is quite a fast bow. I like a slower, smoother bow, but this is kind of a compromise between the two. It's fast, but it's also fairly smooth. A lot of the little intricacies of this bow, it has dampeners at the top and the bottom, so you don't need to put anything on the string. So it'll be a little bit faster that way, but yet it still takes out some of the loudness because of these dampers on it. Other than that, this Bear Arena 30, pretty nice bow to be taken to the field this fall.
Next up, we have the Elite Synergy. This is a 33.5-inch bow, a little on the heavy side, about 4.5 pounds. But I tell you what, when you get this bow back, it is so calm in your hand. You are dead still with it. The whole design is made for shootability. This is made to be a comfortable bow, and that's exactly what it is. Not overly fast, doesn't have some of the bells and whistles that some of the other bows do, but as far as comfort, this thing is one of the most comfortable bows I've ever shot. If you're looking for overall comfort in a bow and shootability, the Elite is going to be pretty tough to beat.
Well, this is the Matthews No Cam, and what I really like about this bow is its shootability. And some of the older bows that we used to shoot back in the 90s were really smooth because they had round wheels. This one works together top to bottom. It is very, very smooth. When you shoot this thing, it's dead in the hand. They've got a new handle system that is a little bit better than the old ones. I like this handle a little bit better. Feels good to me. Maybe not everybody will like it, but I really like the new handle. Other than that, it is just a smooth shooting bow. Has a roller cable system, which I'm really fond of because when you're in that bow hunting situation, you do not want this to squeak on you. Overall, the Matthews No Cam, very smooth shooting, smooth draw, and a good bow to take into the field this fall.
All right, well, next up we're going to look at the Bear Crux. Now, every year we try to highlight a bow or a couple of bows that are not quite as expensive. And upper end bows nowadays are $1,000, $1,200. That's a lot of money for people to spend. So we want to show you a couple other options that are not quite as expensive. Almost every major bow company has a line of lesser end bows. And this is just one example. This is a package bow completely set up for under 600 bucks. Lots of good things about these bows. They get the job done, that's for sure. You do lose a few of the kind of the upper end things. It's got a little bit of torque in your hand. It's pretty quick all in all, but not super comfortable. Still good bow. Still do everything you need them to do in the field and do it well. But you do lose some of the comfort issues that you get with the upper end bows, but you're also saving 600 bucks. So there's a trade-off there. This bow in particular comes completely set up. We got stabilizer, rest, quiver, sight, everything ready to go, less than 600 bucks.
Well, as always, we tried to include a couple crossbows in the mix this year. When it comes to crossbows, there's all sorts of different features on crossbows across the market. But when it comes to the end game, they're all very similar. You have to limit your range and know the range of your crossbow. These are not long-range weapons. They're not going to be shooting at a deer that's 100 yards away. These are very, very similar to a compound bow in their range. One of the new ones on the market is the Storm RDX. This is a Horton. Horton is back on the market now. They're actually owned by 10 Point. This is one of the coolest bows that have come out this year. It's got a reverse draw. The limbs go forward instead of backwards. This gives you a longer draw cycle so that you are able to get faster speeds with a shorter draw and less draw weight. This is a 165-pound draw weight, but it shoots 370 feet per second. So very cool. It gives you a little bit quieter shot. Not a whole lot, but it is a little bit quieter than your normal crossbow, and they are extremely accurate.
Next up on the review, we want to touch on a women's bow here. Now, we're not actually shooting any women's bows today, but this bow here, it's the Ivashaki Signature Series by Bowtech. This is a really popular bow this year for women hunters, so we wanted to at least touch on it. Very light, extremely smooth draw cycle. It is a bit on the pricey side. This is not a beginner's bow if you're a woman hunter, but if you've been shooting for a while, you're looking to take that next step up into a top-of-the-line bow, this is a great bow for women hunters of all ages.
Well, Jordan and I have had a fun time putting together this bow review. It's always fun getting to shoot bows for your job. But if you're looking for a bow, make sure you get into a pro shop, whether it be the one down the road or up at Jay's Sporting Goods where we are today. Shoot the bows, shoot a lot of them and see which ones are comfortable to you. If you don't do that, you might end up with a bow that you like on the outset, but it's not going to do you very well this fall in the woods. So make sure you shoot all those bows and good luck this fall.
Well, in our next story, Gabe Van Wormer was able to spend some time with some of our houndsmen here in the state of Michigan and take a look at what they're doing this time of year to get their dogs ready for the upcoming hunting seasons.
In the heat of summer, it can be tough to find a lot to do as a houndsman in the state of Michigan. It's too hot to do much training, and many of the training seasons are closed anyway. Well, if you have big hounds, swim races might be the answer. The Michigan Bear Hunters Association runs swim races all over the state and was visiting the Clam River Houndsman for one of the last ones of the year.
Well, Michigan Bear Hunters Association has come in. They have swim races all around Michigan. We're kind of the last stop of the year, so this is the kind of the finale of it all. And it's the fastest dogs in the state generally. The club itself has been here for 40 years. We just redug this pond here. We used to have it over there, but we moved everything and here we are. So basically what happens is the dogs draw for numbers and they run in groups of 5 or 6. And basically we load them in that box right there and we spring the stuffed animal in front of them and we pull it on this cable and the dogs swim the pond and the first one across the finish line over there wins. You'll see them when they jump out of the box. A lot of them look like labs when you're throwing a frisbee into the water. A lot of them will land right out here, 10, 15 feet out of the box, and they're off. I mean, there's some pretty stout dogs here that can swim, so it's a lot of fun.
The first thing you'll notice about running hounds is that it's usually a family activity. Swim races are no exception. There's plenty of front row seats next to the swim pit, and families of spectators line the banks. For the dogs, this is not only a good activity for them during hot days, but it also gets them in shape for the upcoming training and fall hunting seasons. Swimming the length of the pit requires stamina and drive. Once the door is open, dogs that run onto shore to gain an advantage are disqualified. Only dogs that swim the length of the pit will move on.
Tell me, why are you here today?
Family. We've done it forever. Kind of grew up with it. Grandpa got me into it. Father's Day weekend. We brought 4 dogs. We brought a puppy, my 11-month-old, and then we brought kind of a mixture of everything: red bone, blue tick, plot, and then my English. We coon hunt a lot, bear hunt a lot, but down south we don't really have the bear, so we travel up here a lot. We hunt a lot in Houghton Lake. For me, it's different because I normally, I'm only 20, so I've never had my own dog that I've brought to a swim event. We've always had Grandpa's dogs. With me, having my own dog now, he's only 11 months old. I'm not expecting him to come out of here winning everything. I just want him to get in the water, get the practice, see the other dogs. This is my pup's first time.
There was definitely a good crowd today. For the Michigan Bear Hunters, these events have been a success. If you don't know about MBHA, then you should. They've quietly donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to preserve hunting in the state of Michigan over the years.
Well, the Michigan Bear Hunters, we pretty much raise money to help fight anti-hunters and keep the sport of bear hunting, coyote hunting, any kind of hunting in Michigan and the United States going. We raised tons of money. We donated $400,000 since 1996 was the last record we have. And 2 years ago, we donated $100,000 towards the scientific wildlife conservation. Today here we have swim races. We're swimming dogs. It's a good way for the dogs to get exercise. It's a good way to get everyone together, and we raise money for the cause, raise money for the club. We're at the Clam River Houndsmen's Association, and yeah, it's a good way. We raise money and the dogs swim. People enjoy it. It's a nice day. It's starting to get cloudy now, but it's been great.
As you can see, these dogs want to do this. They are constantly wagging their tails and pulling on the leads to get into the box. This is only the start of their training season. While some hunters only hunt a couple months or even weeks out of the year, a houndsman is feeding and caring for their dogs 365 days a year. It takes a lot of hard work and dedication. Special thanks to MBHA for all the work they've done for hunting over the years. And the next time you see a truck with a dog box in the back and a Michigan Bear Hunters bumper sticker, tip your hat and tell them thanks for the work they've done to preserve the hunting tradition here in Michigan.
Well, we're here today with Steve Henson, and Steve sent me a video, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago about a new product that he came up with. He's just a sportsman here in the state of Michigan, loves to deer hunt. Obviously, we got some decoys that we're working with. Now, Steve, a lot of decoys, silhouette decoys anyways, they look great, but as soon as that deer comes around, they kind of disappear. And there's something different about yours. Have you hunted a lot with decoys over the years, and what kind of got you started with this whole deal?
Yeah, it's been about 5 years of really working with the decoys, and the silhouette was always my decoy choice, and the biggest reason is they're easy to carry.
Okay.
And it's nice and light way to get out in the field. And just like you said, the problems come when this deer starts circling the decoy, and that could be from any distance, up close or away. They just want to circle around. They want to get downwind. They just want to see what's in their area.
Okay, and so this, kind of walk me through how this works. So obviously there's a little bit more here than just a silhouette. You called it a three-headed deer. So explain to me how this works.
Well, a silhouette is generally considered to be a two-headed deer, where you just have the face on one side and then the other. So by putting the face on the third side, you accomplish a couple things. You accomplish the fact that you have 360 degrees of the deer's looking at you, which is very important, that the deer's looking at what's coming in, because the deer knows when they're in that hearing range, and the deer should be looking at them. So that's the biggest thing there. And the body, the same way, sort of fills in. So as the deer's walking around, he's going to see that fuller body in the front.
And you also have a deer on a stick. Explain to me what that is.
Yeah, it's basically just the head. And we're using this as maybe as an accessory to a decoy. You're going to have another one. It's easy to carry, very lightweight. This decoy only weighs 4 pounds. Wow. And on the stick is less than half of that. But it gives you another decoy, you might want to have 2 does, or you might want to have a buck and a doe to the side, or you just might want to use that one all by itself if you're just looking to maybe get into decoys.
Okay. Well, whether you've been using decoys your whole life or whether you want to try something new, this is a great new tool that's out there. And Steve, thanks for your ingenuity.
All right, thanks.
If you'd like more information on these decoys, please stay tuned to the credits at the end of the show.
Thanks for joining us this week for Michigan Out of Doors. Make sure you check us out online when you get a chance. You can do it a couple of different ways. On our website at michiganoutofdoorstv.com. You can check out this week's episode or old episodes if you'd like to do that, or on our Facebook page at Michigan Out of Doors TV. We are on Facebook every couple days letting you know where we're at and where we're headed next. And speaking of where we're headed next, we've got a lot of good stuff in store for you this summer.
Well, that's right, Jenny. Lots of good brand new stuff coming over the next few weeks here in Michigan Out of Doors. Next week, we're going to do some muskie fishing. We had our whole crew down in Lake St. Clair. You won't want to miss that. We also recently did some fishing with Bob Garner and Kathy Beitler out of the Port of Frankfurt, and that was a lot of fun. We've got an ATV story. We've got some other big lake stuff. We've got some inland stuff. And of course, the hunting seasons are just starting to ramp up, though it's just a few weeks away. What a great time of the year to be a sportsman here in the state of Michigan. And if we don't see you in the woods or on the water, hopefully we'll see you right back here next week on your PBS station.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by the Michigan chapters of Safari Club International. For over 40 years, SCI has been protecting hunters' rights and promoting wildlife conservation here in Michigan and around the world. SCI chapter locations can be found on the web at firstformichigan.org. By Rosie Brothers. Located in Dryden, Michigan, Rosie Brothers has been serving Michigan for over 40 years. Specializing in outdoor needs, Rosie Brothers features Kubota tractors and equipment for use in farm, home, or commercial needs. On the web at rosiebrosinc.com. By Propane, Clean American Energy. Propane retailers promote the safe use of Michigan-produced gas energy in homes, farms, and businesses across our great state. Learn more at usemichiganpropane.com. By Pictured Rocks Boat Cruises of Munising, exploring Lake Superior's Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore with its sandstone cliffs, caves, waterfalls, and lighthouses. Pictured Rocks Boat Cruises on the web at picturedrocks.com. Closed captioning is provided by the Michigan Propane Gas Association, Clean American Energy. Propane realtors promote the safe use of Michigan-produced gas to outdoor enthusiasts across our great state.
When I wander far away, a dream stays with me night and day. It's the road that leads to my home state. I am a Michigan man. Changing seasons paint the scene like rainbow trout in a hidden stream. The white-tailed deer in the tall pine trees. I am a Michigan man.